Yo, what is up guys, Punkerzz here, and today I am back with another video for you guys, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So, as you guys know, what I mostly post are tips and tricks videos and cut commentaries. Now, today we'll be doing neither of those. Today I want to kind of have an informal, long commentary, a discussion about certain rumors that have been flying around today on Twitter, and a lot of people have been getting mad about them. Now, before I get any further into the video, I just want to say that, guys, these are just rumors. It's all speculation, it's all talk. None of it is set in stone, none of it is final by any means. Nothing has been announced by Treyarch or Activision. So, before we start getting into these reasons, just don't get afraid. Don't be afraid if you're under 18, because this stuff is not set in stone. So, obviously today we're going to be talking about certain rumors that state that next year for Black Ops 3, Treyarch and Activision will only let players who are 18 years of age or older play the game competitively. That means go to tournaments and compete for cash prizes, stuff like that. Now, this obviously comes as a shock to a lot of you guys because we've never dealt with this before. You know, if you're under 18 right now and you want to go to an event, you just bring a sheet of paper that says, I'm allowed to play, my parents say I can play, your parent signs it, you take it to the event, all is good, no big deal, and that's all you have to do. I did that for my event, my first event, all that good stuff, and it was no big deal. But, if these rumors are true, there's got to be some reason for it, you know, and today we're going to be talking about those possible reasons and talking about, firstly, why people are so mad about this. So let's get right into it. Why people are mad. Now, there are a lot of reasons. I'm going to focus on kind of the broader ones. So a large portion of the community is made up of players under 18 years old, meaning this new rule will essentially ban young players from being able to compete, which, might I add, is a dream for some of those younger players. You know, a lot of these young players, their goal is to grow up and be Call of Duty professional players. They see these guys like Scumpy and, Nadeshot before he retired, and Crim6 and Formal, and guys on FaZe, guys on Denial, all of them playing, and they want to be like them. So saying that they can't compete is essentially just crushing their dream right then and there, which sucks so much, but you just can't get around that. Now, I saw someone on Twitter today, he was trying to make some estimates, he was trying to calculate some estimates on the amount of money that MLG and UMG will lose yearly from the amount of players that will be banned from playing if they stop playing certain tournaments. Now, he only included 2K and 5K tournaments, the most expensive tournaments you can play on MLG and UMG. He only included those, guys, so that's not including 250 series, that's not including other tournaments that don't involve pro points, that's not including 1K amateur tournaments on Fridays, that's not including team passes to go to events, any of that stuff. It is only including 2Ks and 5Ks, and he estimated that about $27,000 a year is spent by amateur players under the age of 18 on just 2Ks and 5Ks alone. Now, that number is obviously just an estimate. We can't know for sure how much money a year is spent by players under the age of 18 for MLG and UMG. I'm sure if we did, that number would be released and kind of spread all over Twitter. So 27,000 is a rough estimate, so do not quote me on that if you're trying to win an argument or something like that. That's just a rough estimate that I saw on Twitter. Another reason people are mad is that some believe that the age limit, should be 17 years old. Since you have to be 17 to buy the game, you should have to be 17 to compete in the game. So people think it's kind of dumb that, I'm 17 years old right now, I could go to a GameStop and I could buy Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, or I could pre-order Black Ops 3, and they give me the pre-order, and I go home, and I come back on November 4th, or 6th, whatever it is, and I get it, but I can't compete. So they let me buy it, but they don't let me play it competitively, and that's kind of ridiculous. People think that it should be a year younger, but the fact remains that even if it is under 17, a large portion of the community will still be left out. So it doesn't matter if it's 1 year younger, still a lot of people will be affected by this change. People also believe that the viewership of COD will drop severely if this rule isn't just a rumor, meaning that, all these players, if they're told that you can't compete anymore, then they're probably going to quit. A large portion of them will quit. They're not going to play anymore because they have nothing, they have no goals, they have nothing to strive for. So they'll probably quit and they'll stop watching Call of Duty altogether. Now, obviously, some of them will stick around. I, for one, if I wasn't allowed to play anymore, I would still make videos, I would still probably follow the scene, I would not leave the community altogether, but a large portion of the people that were banned would definitely leave the community, I can promise you that. So people have that kind of in the back of their mind, that, the viewership will drop even more than it already has when Advanced Warfare came out, and, obviously the fall during Ghost and AW. So people don't really think that we can afford that as a community, and I kind of agree. So that's going to do it for why people are mad. I'm going to pause this part of my commentary and restart right after this, just so in case I mess up I can restart and not have to go through the entire deal again. So I'll be right back with the reasons. Alright guys, and when I talk about these reasons, just keep in mind these are all speculations. We don't know what the real reason will be for this switch if it actually happens until they come forward and announce that it's happening. They'll give us their reasons, and only then will we actually know what the reasoning is. So right now this is all speculation. This is educated guesses that I'm making. I did a little bit of research, and I'm hoping that these reasons will give you more of an insight into why this might be happening. Now, before I get into the reasons, let me just say that a lot of these reasons are filled with many holes. They cannot be completely explained. You know, there's all sorts of counter arguments, and I want you guys to make those arguments. I want you guys to just be thinking about this as I'm talking and think about, you know, why that doesn't make sense. Like, how does that work? Blah, blah, blah. I want you guys to have a discussion with me. You know, leave your comments down below. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me, you know, why this doesn't make sense. Why does this make sense? All that good stuff in the comments below. I want to hear your guys' opinions on this. So one possible reason for this switch could be due to online gambling. As we all know, COD Champs is an 18+ age event, but most of us don't know why. You know, a lot of the reasons are speculated by fans, but one possible reason for this is the fact that COD Champs has online qualifiers to go to a regional event, which then qualifies you for COD Champs. I think the issue lies within the online qualifications. You know, it's widely known that you must be 18+ to participate in the online qualifiers, and if you're asked for an ID, you must be able to send a picture of that ID to a ref immediately when you're asked. That's in the rules for the COD Champs online qualifiers, and I believe that this is due to laws in the US to prevent any form of online gambling if you're under 18. Now, a flaw in this possibility is that minors participate in online tournaments for money every day. You know, I'm 17, I've played in numerous tournaments for money, and, you know, not to mention playing wagers on UMG, I've played tons of wagers, you know, countless wagers, and I've gotten the money from those wagers too, but the line between playing video games for money and playing a game such as blackjack for money online, they're very blurry. Those lines are very undefined. Now, I believe that the US said that if you're playing something like fantasy football for money, it's not considered gambling because there's not much luck involved. Like, you know, there's luck involved in everything. There's luck involved in life. So, but in something like fantasy football, where the skill is what ends up winning you the money, that's okay. And so I feel like video games should fall under the same category, but I feel like it's just so blurry, and it's kind of hard for the government to recognize if a video game really takes more skill than luck in certain situations. Now, because you know, they'd have to investigate Call of Duty individually if they were to make that claim. They can't just say, oh, League of Legends is okay, so every other game is okay. You know, you can't just say that. You have to go through each and every game. So that may be one reason for this. Now, I saw something interesting, and this came from Dexerto, or Dexerto, whatever you guys want to pronounce it. It is a British Call of Duty news source, and or maybe it's All Esports, I'm not quite sure. But they speculated that in Australia right now, you guys may not know this, but in Australia, the pro COD scene was taken over by ESL. Now, a lot of you guys may have heard of ESL from Pro Counter-Strike. They're really involved over there. You'll see them hosting the big tournaments, all that kind of stuff. And ESL took over Pro COD in Australia. Now, in Australia, you can only buy Call of Duty if you're 18 and over, I believe. So this may have something to do with ESL's new partnership over in Australia. They may be doing the same thing over in the US, but Activision and Treyarch have yet to announce that. You know, they're fully aware of ESL's taking over of Pro COD in Australia. That obviously means that MLG has no longer has, you know, an effect over in Australia as they did before. Obviously, it didn't matter for COD Champs. You've seen Australian teams at COD Champs because COD Champs is not an MLG event. That is an Activision funded and hosted tournament. So, you know, that's one thing to think about, is that ESL might have something to do with this, and they may have the same jurisdiction over in the US very soon when Black Ops 3 comes out. Now, I came up with my own theory about this. The rest of those reasons I've kind of been researching about, and I've heard other people talk about it, and I've kind of just elaborated on them a bit. But what I thought about was, you know, over the past few years, we've been using a pro point system. And to get those pro points, you play in online tournaments. And then gathering a large amount of pro points would improve your seeding for tournaments in real life, such as UMG events and MLG events. And also, I think, MES events and some smaller locals. Now, getting pro points, you don't get pro points for a specific event unless you're going for pool play. So that being said, like, I can get pro points, 3 months ago, and they could still help me for an event that's 3 months later. Even if there's events in between, the pro points can still help me later. So you're not getting pro points for a specific event only. They can work for all events. And so, the pro point system has a lot of flaws. People kind of get mad about these flaws. They say that, oh, you can just buy pro points. You just have to, if you have enough money to enter every tournament, you can have more pro points than me, but I'm better than you. And to be honest, this is a very true reason. I see people every day, and I beat people online. I know it's online Call of Duty, but to a certain extent, you can kind of tell who's better than who. And I've beaten people, and they have 3 or 4 times the amount of pro points I have, because I just don't play that many tournaments. Like, I'll admit it, I do not play that many tournaments, and they have so many more pro points than I do, because they enter every single tournament, and they may be getting first rounded every time, second rounded every time. It doesn't matter, because they still get a certain amount of pro points, and as long as they have the amount of money to enter every single tournament, they will eventually have more pro points than people, even if they're worse than that person. So what I think is that, since COD Champs has nothing to do with pro points. You get seeded based on how you perform in the online qualifier going to the regional qualifier, which goes into COD Champs, I believe. Now, if that's not true and it does have something to do with pro points and I'm just an idiot and I live under a rock, completely disregard what I'm talking about. But I am fairly certain that pro points do not have anything to do with Call of Duty Champs. Now, if this is true, then what could be happening is Treyarch and Activision might be retiring the pro point system and might be having online qualifiers for every event coming in Black Ops 3. Not saying you can't go to an event if you don't do well, but stuff like pool play and championship bracket and certain seedings will be decided by online qualifiers and not pro points. That's just a theory I have. Let me know what you guys think about this. I just kind of thought about that while I was typing up these reasons, and I was like, hey, you know what? That could be it. So, guys, I just want you guys to think about this. Like I said, these are all just rumors, and don't freak out about this if you're under 18. We're just kind of just talking it out, discussing the rumors, kind of speculating the reasons why this might be happening. Guys, that's gonna do it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed this longer comment. I'm sorry, guys, I just ate this longer commentary. It's almost about 13 minutes long, longer than any commentary that I've ever made. But guys, hope you all enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you did. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Nice work.